Have you ever looked at a photo and felt off? Like you've been there before, but you haven't. A strange hallway, an abandoned mall, school at night. Welcome to the world of liminal spaces. Liminal space refers to a transitional or in-between state or place, often characterized by feelings of uncertainty, ambiguity, and the blurring of boundaries. The term originates from the Latin word limen, meaning threshold, highlighting its association with thresholds or transitions between two distinct states. When we think of liminal space, we usually think of empty hallways, stairwells, or abandoned buildings. But here's the twist. Some liminal spaces are actually meant to be lived in. Hotel rooms, dormitories, temporary apartments, or even waiting rooms. These places serve a purpose, but they're not quite home. But something contradicts that, and some liminal spaces are quite literally houses. They're in your house, they are your house. Maybe your house is a whole liminal space. And some people may even say, my house doesn't have a liminal space. Go check your basement right now, and I bet you got a liminal space there. There's a liminal space everywhere, okay? Anyways, continuing. They're designed for transition, for short stays, passing moments, or temporary lives. They look normal, but something feels pretty off. You're there, but you don't really feel settled, you know? And it's that feeling of like impermanence, of isolation, that gives liminal space their haunting power. Whether it's an abandoned mall or a furnished room, that just doesn't feel like it's yours. Liminal spaces blur the line between reality, memory, and dream. Let's look at a few places that perfectly capture the surreal and nostalgic vibe. Abandoned or dead malls. Huge spaces once filled with life that are now just frozen, gone, basically. Just complete giant time capsules. The music is gone, the escalators are still, there's no power, it's just echoes and paint that's like peeling off the walls. Have you ever stayed late at school? The exact same place that felt pretty safe during the daytime suddenly just feels wrong, strange, and because it's empty. 24-hour gas stations. Bright lights buzz overhead, just nothing except science outside. A place on the earth in your town that just doesn't feel quite real. You've probably heard of the Backrooms, one of the most famous liminal spaces. Now, there's a lot of types of backrooms. There's maybe the pool rooms, like there's also maybe dreamcore. All of this is just part of liminal space and backrooms. And if you're not careful and you'll no clip out of reality in the wrong areas, you'll end up in the backrooms. It's a maze of empty office-like rooms that go on forever. No windows, it's just bright yellow lights that hum a little too loud. Some people say it's infinite, other people say that it's just around 100 million miles worth of this that you have to walk through. And with that, the backrooms became a modern myth, part creepypasta and digital folklore. And it's not alone. Games, art, and videos have created entire worlds made only of liminal spaces. There's a lot of games. The really cool thing is that people have also made like their own backrooms levels, so there's actual lore to this. For example, some backrooms levels have been like inspired off real life. Example, level 188. That is based off the Holiday Inn Terminal 8 at Heathrow Hotel in London. So yeah. Now now time to answer the question everyone has been waiting for. Why do liminal spaces make us feel terrified but comforted? According to Google, the unsettling feeling associated with liminal spaces arises from their ambiguous nature, often evoking a sense of unease, disorientation due to their transitional or in-between state. The other reasons are the loss of familiarity. These spaces are often devoid of the usual context or purpose they were designed for, making them feel unfamiliar and unsettling. Another one is nostalgia and loss. Some liminal spaces evoke a sense of nostalgia, reminding viewers of past experiences or places they may no longer have access to, which can be both comforting and also very unsettling. The uncanny valley effect. When familiar spaces are presented outside the normal context, they can trigger an uncanny valley response, with slight deviations from the norm create a sense of unease and discomfort, and that's according to the EBSCO. I'm just gonna read off all the reasons. Another one is anxiety and fear. The lack of a clear purpose and the potential for the unexpected can lead to feelings of anxiety, fear, and disorientation, especially in liminal spaces that are associated with abandonment or isolation. And another one is ambiguity, or the last one that I actually have is ambiguity and transition. Liminal spaces are by definition in between places. They represent a transition from one state or phase to another, leaving the viewer unsure of what to expect or what the future holds. So, in short, liminal spaces unsettle us because they represent transition and ambiguity, leaving us in a state of uncertainty. Stripped of the usual context or function, these spaces feel both familiar and unfamiliar, triggering nostalgia, unease, and even fear. The disconnection from purpose, people, and time creates a strange emotional mix of comfort, loss, and low-level dread. And yeah, that's pretty much why liminal spaces makes us feel uncomfortable. So yeah. Okay, thank you guys so much for watching. If this video was informative or it was entertaining, please consider giving it a like. It would mean a lot to me. And yeah, and if you want to see more liminal space content on your feed, then make sure to subscribe, because I'm going to be posting as much as possible. And yeah, so thank you guys for watching. Have a good one. See you on the next one. Bye.